Hey guys, what's going on, and welcome to a brand new video. In this video today, of course, it's your player ratings for the end of the season, and what we're going to be doing is a tier list of best players all the way down to the bottom. If you see over here, we do have our categories. Our categories are player of the season, who we're going to give the best player of the season, of course. Great season, good season, played their part. Like, they weren't like getting a lot of minutes. They didn't get a lot of minutes, but when they came in, they played their part for the season. And poor season. So we got these categories. Let me know in the comment section down below if I get any of these wrong in your opinion. I want to know what your opinions are on which ones you would change based off what I'm going to say. So what I'm going to do with player of the season, I'm going to put all the players that I consider should be contenders for player of the season in there, and then whoever gets it gets player of the season. The rest of them are going to drop down to great season. I think that's how we're going to do it for this. But let's start off, of course. This is probably going to be the one negative, and it's Illan Meslier. Illan Meslier will be the one negative because of how many goals he let in this season. Like, if you say he let in 11 goals, which I've said, like 11, that's generous. Like, saying that he only let in 11 goals is generous. Probably goes to 14, 15. I mean, the picture here was him making a massive save in a game. I think it was against Coventry. I think that's Coventry. Basically winning us that game. That was like one of his best performances of the season. Probably is his best performance of the season. But he let in so many goals throughout the entire season and cost us a bunch of points. So I am going to put him in poor season. And yeah, I want to get the negative out. That's probably the big negative you want to get out the way. We'll get that out the way. Illan Meslier will go at the bottom tier and be put there. Next up is Carl Darlow. Now, Carl Darlow for me is going to go and play their part, because that's exactly what he did. He played his part. He came into the team at the end of the season, basically, when Mellier's made another howler. So Park brings Darlow in, and he does the simple things. He catches the ball, he makes the simple saves, and he gets over the line and wins us we won the league in the end. So he came into the team with not many games left in the season, played his part, and got us over, and was part of the reason why we got over the line at the end of the season. Because who knows, if Meslier was in goal, we could have lost even more points. But Carl Darlow came in, steadied the ship. I think he made Rodon more comfortable as well. Like, Rodon and Strauch at the back were more comfortable with Darlow in there, just based off the fact of, like, especially Rodon, the whole Wales link, and yeah, all of that. I think that was good, and I think that helped. So yeah, I think Carl Darlow coming in helped, make Rodon a bit more calm. Bit more calm. But the next player we're going to go to, so we haven't even played his part, Jayden Bogle. Now, Jayden Bogle, throughout this season for me, has been probably one of the better players this season. He's defensively, I mean, remember when we got told by Sheffield United fans that he can't defend? Well, he's had a great season defensively, and beside that opening game, that first game of the season, where he was kind of poor in that first game of the season on his debut, besides that, I don't think he's really had a bad performance all season. So I'm actually going to go and put Jayden Bogle up there for player of the season. He's getting in the nomination for being being the player of the season for us. But yeah, he's had an incredible season in my opinion. And as I already said, the Sheffield United fans saying he can't defend. Well, he can defend for Leeds, and going forward, got assists, got goals. He did everything that you want to see from your fullback. And I think he had a good season. I think he's one of our best players this season. So he's going to go up top and be in the contention for player of the season. Next up, we got Sam Byram. Now, Sam Byram, I think, he had a good season. Like, he's come into the team, when he's needed to fill in, he's filled in. Defensively, he's a very strong and very good player defensively, which is why, in my opinion, games where you're winning by one goal and it's very tight, he's the perfect player to bring on defensively, because I feel like when he's at the back, I'm more comfortable defensively than when Firpo is, let's just say. Now, I love Firpo, and I think he's been absolutely brilliant this season. We'll get on to Firpo a bit later. Actually, he's fullback, so he should be there. But we'll get on to Firpo just after this. But Sam Byram would, when I see Sam Byram on the pitch, I'm more confident defensively in my fullback, because Sam Byram defensively is very good. That's what he's very good at. He's not a going forward fullback that's going to bomb forward, and he put a couple of good balls into the box, and he's put a couple of good passes in. He's scored. He's got a couple of assists, I think. I know he's scored as well. And yeah, I think Sam Byram's been a good part to the season. I'm gonna put him in. I think he's had a good season. I'm gonna put him in good season. You could maybe consider. No, I wouldn't say great. I would put him in good season. We're gonna put Sam Byram in good season. Next up is Junior Firpo. Now, for me, Junior Firpo has to be in one of the players of the season. I mean, he's been absolutely incredible, and it's such a crime that he didn't get put into the team of the season as the left back for the team of the season. I mean, how did he not? He's been incredible all season. He's got so many assists. Like, I don't have the tally right now, but I think he's got like 13 assists. That could even be low. He could have more than that, but he's been unbelievable this season. He's improved so much. I think he's improved defensively as well. Now, maybe that's because the opposition is the Championship level and not the Premier League level. But he's really turned he's really turned it around how it was, when we did get relegated, and he was very, everyone called him shit and all that. And the last 2 seasons, he's really turned it around in the Championship, and he looks like a different player. Maybe, as I said, maybe that's because it's Championship opposition and not Premier League opposition, but he does feel like he's improved at his positioning. He does get beat still at times, but positioning wise, he looks like he's better than what he was when he was in the Premier League. So I think he's had a really good season. One of the players of the season in this team, and up there. Next up, Joe Rodon. I mean, Joe Rodon, a brilliant season from him as well. He's been incredible this season as well. So many of our players have been great this season. Joe Rodon, for me, has been one of the better players as well. So many players are going to go up here just because I feel like they are in the nominations for player of the season, and Joe Rodon, for me, is that exact same. It's in that exact same category of, yes, you could be our player of the season, so I'm going to put him up there. I mean, he heads everything away. Like, he's been incredible for us this entire season defensively. I mean, the last ditch tackles that he's made to stop oppositions from having a shot, and just, I think he's been incredible for us. And next up is Pascal Struijk. Now, with Pascal Struijk, I don't think he's been up there with player of the season, but I do think he's had a great season. Now, Pascal Struijk, for me, has just not been as good as Rodon, but I still think he's had a very good season. That's why I'm putting it in him in great season. I think he's played very well at times, and he does, for me, he gets beat too easily at times as well. He sometimes rushes forward too quickly, and he'll just get spun so easily at times. But we don't, we have most of the ball every single game, so you don't really see it that much because we keep the possession in most games. So but I think Struijk's had a great season. I don't think he's up there for player of the season, but I think he has had a great season, which is why I'm putting him in the great season tier. Next up, Max Wöber. Now, Max Wöber, for me, is going to go in played their part because he came into the team in, I think it was December. It was near Christmas, or it was like early January. He was on the bench. He came on the pitch and he scored. He came on the pitch and scored, and he played a couple of games in that period. I think it was like a couple of games in that period where he was actually really good for us. Like, he played his part, but as I said, played their part. He played his part, and I think he did it pretty well, playing at fullback, as he is a centre back, playing in the fullback position. And then even on the final game of the season, he comes onto the pitch. I was like, Wöber? Like, out of everyone, we didn't bring Schmidt on, we brought Max Wöber on, and it shocked me. I think it shocked everyone that was watching the game. But then the first thing he was go forward and bomb forward and nearly get a chance to score, like to put a ball in for us to score. And I think, yes, Max Wöber is that kind of, like, I understand why people wouldn't probably agree and would say, like, no, he's been poor, but when he's been in the team, he's been good, and that's why I'm going to say played their part. He did pick up an injury after he played those good couple of games, and that's why he was out for so long. But Max Wöber did play his part this season for me. Next up, Schmidt, who didn't really get any minutes until near the end of the season, but when he came into the team and got chances and started to play, I was like, okay. And for me, he also played his part. He played his part this season. I think Schmidt did. I don't think he's been poor at all in any of the games that he played near the end of the season when he came off the bench. I thought I like these other players. They don't get a lot of minutes, right? But they don't moan and complain about the whole, oh, I'm not playing, He's happy to come on the pitch, and he does his job at near the end of the season when he came on for a couple of games. And I think he had a very good end to the season. Not very good, but he had a good end to the season where he was in the team off the bench. Off the bench mostly. I think he was off the bench in every game. I don't think he started one. No, he didn't. I don't think he did. No, he didn't start a game. But there was question marks of, do you start Schmidt ahead of Nonto on the wing, running into the end of the season? That was a question that I was asking. I was like, maybe Schmidt deserves the chance to start on the wing, but then it wasn't Nonto that came in. But Schmidt did play his part, and I think he had a good end to the season that helped us get over the line. I'm not saying he was the one that got us over the line, and if we didn't have him, we wouldn't have. But he was part of the reason. So I'm going to give him on did play his part. Next up is, of course, the captain, Ethan Ampadu. I mean, for me, I'm gonna put him in great season, and I'm gonna tell you why I'm gonna put him in great season and not player of the season, because Ethan Ampadu, for me, he's had a great season. But it was those injuries. It was that injury, that big injury that he had, is why I'm not going to put. If he didn't have that injury and never got injured, he'd probably be up there for player of the season. But he got that injury. So for me, it has dropped down to great season. But, he played in midfield at the start of the season. I don't think he was great at the start of the season. If you remember back then, I think Gruev was actually playing better than him. I think Gruev was actually outperforming Ampadu nearly every single game. But he came back from his injury, and he looked better. He played better. He had a great end to the season. He then had to come back into centre back after Strout got injured, and did very well at centre back towards the end of the season when we needed him. So yeah, he did have a great season for us, and yeah, he's our captain as well. He's a great captain as well. There was a lot of things about, like, after Cooper left, who will be that captain, that leader type person that you need in the squad. And Ethan Ampadu has filled in that perfectly. You look at Liam Cooper and the way he captained the team for so long, right? I didn't know. I thought it was going to be really hard for the next person that comes in as captain, but no. Ampadu has done a great job. Ampadu's done a great job as our captain, and he's had a great season as well, leading by example as well. Next up, Ayo Tanaka. Ayo Tanaka. We don't have to speak about it, do we? Player of the season, he's up now. Defensively, very good. Going forward, good. Shooting, good. That goal against Hull, I know we ended up drawing 3-3, so it kind of gets forgotten about, but the way he just bent that in the top corner from outside the box was brilliant. Overall, his season's been incredible. Tanaka, I really liked him. Every time he's one of those players where every time the ball, he gets on the ball, you're like, he's not losing it. Like, the midfielder and the defenders can try and tackle him, but they're not taking the ball off him. He's just gonna somehow beat you every single time. Like, he's not losing the ball. And yeah, I think he's one of the best players this season, in my opinion. Next up is Rothwell, and for me, Rothwell's had a great season. Off the back of the Ampadu injury, Ampadu and Gruev got injured at the exact same time. That's when Rothwell and Tanaka came in and with that pairing, that centre mid pairing. And I thought Rothwell was very good. He gave us an option from set pieces. Last season we struggled with set pieces. We didn't score any, and then we get Rothwell who comes in, and then three corners, we're like, oh my god, we're actually putting good corners in. There's a chance for us to score from set pieces, and Rothwell really opened that up as another opportunity, another thing we had that we could use to score goals, because we didn't really have that. Like, Gruev wasn't a bad set piece taker, but Rothwell has just been like, yeah, I'm a real set piece taker. I know how to take corners and stuff, especially corners, because we were very poor from corners. And when Rothwell came in, we actually had we had chances to score from corners, and we had that opportunity of when we get a corner of being like, we could score from this because Rothwell's going to put a good ball in, and then it would hit Rodon's head. But no, he's had a really good season, and that's why I'm going to put him in great season. Next up is Ilya. That's Ilya Gruev. Yep, that's Ilya Gruev. For me, very underrated. I say this all the time in my videos. I've said this a bunch of times in streams and stuff. If you guys know me, I'm probably known. I'm probably the Gruev fan. I'm a massive Gruev fan, actually. I think he's had a really good season. I think he goes under the radar in a lot of games. And I think towards the end of this season, Gruev has actually outperformed Tanaka. Since Gruev's come back into the starting 11, pairing next to Tanaka, I think Gruev has outperformed him in every single game towards the end of the season. I truly believe that, because every time we did reviews, right, the reviews after the games when Tanaka and Gruev were the centre mid pairing, I would always be like, yeah, Gruev had a better performance than Tanaka, and that's nothing on Tanaka, because Tanaka's been incredible. But that's just me saying that Gruev kind of goes under the radar and underappreciated, I think, from some Leeds fans. And I think he's had an incredible season, so I am going to give him a great season, because I think he's been very good. I think he's been very good this season, and he kind of gets this whole thing about him not being good. He only passes sideways, he only passes backwards, and that's kind of been something that people have said about him. I think recently it's kind of been said, and it's just annoying because I just don't believe it. It's just not a thing. But yeah, Ilya Groh for me has had a great season and gone very, very under the radar and a very underrated player in my opinion in this squad. And I think he's actually a Premier League quality player because I think Groh is actually the perfect player for the Premier League, a midfielder who's defensive that we're going to need because we're going to come against some very good attacks, and I think Groh's going to be massive. His defensive work's going to be massive in the Premier League. So yeah. Next up is Gulavogi. I mean, what did Gulavogi really do this season? I'm going to give him played his part because he barely played this season. He'll come on for like 5-minute cameos and we would be like, hey! And then he started the game against Harrigan and we were like, oh god, don't start him ever again. I don't want to see Gulavogi start in the midfield because before he started it against Harrogate, right? People were like, maybe Gulavogi could play a game at some point, and then we watched the Harrogate game. We all went, no, 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 no. Okay, that's why he's here. But yo, Gulavogi bring the team morale up. I believe that Gulavogi is such a happy guy. He brought the team morale up. He played his part. He played his part behind the scenes with them, making everyone happy. I don't know. Next up is Brendan Aronson. Now, Brendan Aronson gets a lot of stick through this season. He has played more minutes than any other outfield player in our squad, and I think he very much gets I understand he's weak and he gets bodied off the ball a lot, and his shooting's a bit meh. Like he doesn't have that that he can't hit that rocket. He can't smash a ball. There's not really much power in his shots normally. So yeah, he does get that, but he runs around so much. That's one thing I would say. He runs around so much because Piro doesn't press. So Aronson has to do all that pressing, right? Aronson has to do all that pressing. I think he's had a good season. I'm going to give him good season because I don't think it's been great, but I do think it's been a good season. As I said, played more minutes than any other player in the entire squad. So, I mean, he would be knackered. Let's be real. How much does he run every single game? He must be knackered, but he's done his job for the team. And yeah, he's had a good season. Double, what's it called? He got, double digit goal contributions, 11 goal contributions this season, like getting into double figures for goal contributions. You're not had a bad season. You've had a good season. And yeah. Next up is Willie Nonto. Now, Nonto is a weird one for me because there was times through the season where I was annoyed at Nonto and like very much annoyed at Nonto because he was not playing well, and every time he would get the ball, he would just lose the ball. um, or he'll try and do something himself, and the pass is right there, and then he'll lose it. So, and then he does some good things, and then he does things where you're like, that's what I want to see more of. But I think he's just had a good season. I don't think he's had a great season. I'll put him in good season because that's what I think he's had, just a good season. Because it's been kind of like, ups and downs with Nonto throughout the entire season of like, he's been poor at times, and then he'll be very good, and then he'll be poor, and then he'll do stuff, and you're like, that's what I want to see. That's what I just want to see. Release the ball quicker. Release the ball quicker. I mean, I remember there was a stage of the season where I was saying that so much, like, release it, and he wouldn't release it, then lose the ball, and it'll be getting annoyed at him. So yeah, I don't think he's had an amazing season or a great season, but I think he has had a good season. So I am going to put him in good season. Next up is Dan James. I mean, what is there to talk about? He has been incredible this season. From a player who was kind of like taken out of the club before he came back in, loaned out to Fulham and all that, kind of treated shit by the club. Let's be real, he was treated shit by the club. If he wanted to leave and not come to the Championship and play for Leeds, I would understand that if he wanted to go somewhere else, because the shit that he had to deal with at this club, I feel like he got absolute, like, it was sad at times. I'm like, he doesn't really get a chance, and then we loan him out. He was treated like shit by the club. And I'm not saying by the fans, I mean the club. Like, he was treated like shit at the time. And then he comes back into the Championship, and I remember he was in an interview. I think it was after, like, the first preseason game. It was one of the preseason games, not this season, last season. And the way he spoke was like he wanted to be here. He wanted to fight. He wanted us to get promoted. He wanted to be here. And when the way he spoke, I'm like, this guy's going to be a player. And he was good that season. And this season, he's gone to another level. This season, he has gone to another level. He's been incredible. I mean, you could argue the player of the season in the entire Championship, to be honest. Like, I mean, how Hamer won that, let's be real. It should have been James or Trafford. I think it should have been Trafford, but if it was James, it wouldn't be as much there wouldn't be as much outroar if it was James, because for me, it was James and Trafford right here, and then Hamer a bit lower down. But yeah, he's been incredible this season, Dan James, and been massive for us this season. And just everything, the goals, the assists, the way he tracks back and runs, every ball over the top, just sprinting through. Yeah, he's improved as a player so much, in my opinion, being at Leeds. I think the drop down back to the Championship, after, Man United and the loan at Fulham and all that, I think that drop back down to the Championship has massively helped Dan James as a player as well. To be ready for the Premier League, because I think he's actually ready for it now, and I'm hoping he really much performs next season, because I want to see him do well in the Premier League, because I really like him. Next up is largely Ramazani. Didn't get much game time, he came on for 10 minutes and scored twice though. And yeah, so I'm gonna say played his part, because he's not been bad, but he's not had minutes. But he comes on for 10 minutes and scores 2 goals. When he comes on, he looks lively, he looks good. I'm excited to see Ramazani in the Premier League, because I think he'll get more minutes in the Premier League. I think Fark is doing the thing that people cry out for: managing the managing the talent. I mean, and if you see the way Ramazani's celebrating in the parade, and the way he's celebrating after promotion and all that, and the way he's acting and celebrating in those promotions, doesn't look like he hates Fark, does it? It doesn't look like he hates Fark at all. That needs to die, about the whole thing about, oh, he hates Fark. Like, shut up. But yeah, Ramazani played his part. Manor Solomon, one of the players of the season. What a loan that was, getting him from Spurs. He wouldn't have dropped down to the Championship if he never got those injuries. Just because he was injury prone was the reason why we were able to get him in the Championship, and he has been incredible for us this season. I pray that we sign him back, and I pray that he's like the first signing that we make in the once the transfer window opens. Just get that Solomon deal done, please. I really want him to come back. The goal to win the league on the final day against Plymouth, or the last minute goal. I mean, the entire season, he's been incredible, Manor Solomon. One of our best players. And you can tell he's Premier League level. You can tell the Championship he's better than the Championship. You can tell that. You can tell he's better than the Championship. One of our best players. That's why he's going to be up there in the Player of the Season. And now we got our 3 strikers. So Joel Pirro, the Golden Boot winner. I mean, I guess you have to. It's a weird one with Pirro, right? Because for me, you have Pirro who's, he's won the Golden Boot, so you're thinking here. But then he goes invisible in so many games, right? He goes invisible in so many games. And I get so frustrated with him in so many games. And then there's other games where he drops in and he connects to play very well, and that's what I want to see more of. And towards the end of the season, before he scored those 4 goals in one game, he had 8 games in a row where he was invisible in every single one, and he's been invisible in multiple games throughout the season. So I'm not going to put him right at the top, because I don't think you can be right at the top when you're invisible and you go missing in a lot of games. I just don't think you can. That might be a controversial take, but if you go missing in a lot of games, I don't think you should be there. But I am going to put him in great season, because he won the Golden Boot. I mean, winning the Golden Boot, I can't put him any lower. I can't put him in good season. But he won the Golden Boot, so I can't put him in just good season, because it's a great season. He's won the Golden Boot, but he goes missing in a lot of games, which is why, for me, he's not at the top rank. He's not at the top. And the final 2 players, so Bamford, for me, is going to go and play their part, because I think he played his part very well. I think he played his part towards the end of the season. He's been injured most of the season, but when he came in at the end of the season, the Middlesbrough game, I mean, that 15 minutes was a masterclass performance, that masterclass 15 minutes. But yeah, I think he's played his part towards the end of the season, of just holding up the play, winning fouls, slowing down the game, chewing time off the clock in games where we need to hold on and win. And I think he's done his part very well at the end of the season. I wish we could have had more from Bamford, as in, I wish he was not injured basically all season. And before he got injured, right, people will say, well, before he got injured, he was bad, he was poor, so he probably should go down. But he didn't look fit. If you watched him when he was running early on in the season, when he came off the bench, he just didn't look fit. He didn't. He looked more fit towards the end of the season when he's running. It looks more natural when he's running. It looked like he was still carrying a knock or a little injury at the start of the season, early on. It felt like he still was carrying an injury, but now it doesn't feel like he's carrying an injury at all when he's running. You look at him and you're like, he doesn't look like he has an injury now. So I'm going to give him played their part, because he played his part at the end of the season. And Mateo Joseph, I mean, what can we say? He scored some goals this season, yeah, but oh my God. Do you know what? Based off the expectation, right? The expectation that I saw a lot, and I don't want people to change and be like, no, I never said that, because so many Leeds content creators were saying this at the start of the season. So many people in the chats were also saying this at the start of the season. 20 plus goal a season. They said he would score 20 plus goals this season, and he scored a couple, but he missed some chances, and I just think he's not been great. I just don't think he's been great this season. And he scored some goals, so you might be like, he played his part. He played his part, I guess, because he did score goals this season. Yeah, I'm gonna give him played his part because I think poor season is harsh. For a player who did score goals this season at the start of the season, especially, and he looked so good in preseason, and I don't know what happened after preseason. He just went off a cliff basically, and he's a young player, so a loan move is going to help him a lot, and I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to send him out on loan before the season starts next season, which is what we should do, either to a championship team or maybe to a Spanish club. Like I could see him go back to Spain on loan, which would be nice. I think going to Spain on loan to a Spanish club on loan would be great. But yeah, I am going to give him a played part. So the only player that's really in poor season is Melia, and everyone, it's understandable. It's understandable why he's in poor season because he has had a very poor season. I mean, the amount of games where he's cost us points, you have to. But yeah, so let's give who I would give player of the season. We're not going to drop everyone down the great season. We're just going to give who I think is our player of the season, and it's Dan James. Dan James is our player of the season. And that's my ranking. So we got Dan James, Jaden Bogle, Junior Firpo, Joe Rodon, Tanaka, and Solomon in the player of the season tier. So the top players this season. And then we got Strauch, Ampadu, Rothwell, Gruev, and Pirro in the great season. We then got Byram, Aronson, and Nonto in the good season. We got played their part. We got Darlow, Voba, Schmidt, Gulavogi, Ramazani, Bamford, and Joseph. And in poor season, we got Melia. That's my rankings of. That's my tier list. I want you guys to tell me what you thought of that and let me know which changes you would make in the comments down below. And I'll catch you all next time.